purpose-driven, and heart-led. And it's why today's announcements and what you'll hear from the governor in just a few minutes stands right at the intersection of those values. Because the solution can't just be about meeting needs. It has to be about empowering the very people and small businesses who help them. When we think about childcare providers and local grocers, those aren't just businesses. They're anchors in their communities. And yet so many face barriers that have less to do with their grit and more to do with access to data, to funding, to networks. Our team, the innovation team in Governor Moore's office, is small, mighty, and frankly, scrappy, but we combine capabilities in data science, civic design, and community engagement to take on some of the state's most important challenges. I want to thank and acknowledge the team, Charlie, Alex, Aria, Martha, Sabrina, Kayla, Sahi, and Jessica, for their brilliance in bringing this work to life. And I also want to recognize our state, yes. They are truly incredible. And I want to recognize our state and local partners, Secretary Day, Secretary Coker, Secretary Martin, Secretary Addix, Pat McLaughlin, Marcy Jacobs, Delegate Young, Councilmember Jones, and so many others. And of course, the community members who are here today, helping us reimagine what progress looks like when it's built collaboratively. Over the past year, we've listened to small business owners from Hagerstown to right here in Baltimore City, from family child care providers to local food retailers, working hard to serve their communities. We've poured through data and traveled the state to build a solution with the community, not just for them. And that's the spirit behind what we're unveiling here today, the Maryland Community Business Compass. Let me give you an example. Throughout our journey, we had the chance to meet independent grocers, people like Mark in Maryland, who told us about their 5-year journey to bring a grocery store to their community. They shared the countless hours they spent researching, chasing down funding opportunities, and reading through endless documents. And they said something that really stuck with us. How many other entrepreneurs with great ideas simply don't have the time, resources, or connections to navigate a process like that on their own? And that's exactly why we built the Compass. Because when you democratize data, you democratize opportunity. As you've hopefully seen throughout the gallery walk, the Compass was developed around 3 core features. 1, data and insights, surfacing information like existing childcare capacity and fresh food access. 2, funding, empowering people to understand what resources actually exist. And 3rd, connection, allowing business owners to connect with experts who can help them take their ideas from seed to scale. We see the Compass as a foundation, a tool that makes opportunity transparent and measurable, guiding smarter investments and helping build stronger local economies. Right before I bring up the governor, I want to end where we began, with purpose. This moment is about more than a platform. It's about how when we use data and innovation, we expand what's possible. When we combine insight with heart, we build a Maryland where small businesses can thrive and families can flourish. And no one embodies that charge more than our governor. It is my great honor to introduce a leader whose vision for inclusive economic growth has guided every step of this work. A governor who challenges us to think boldly, to lead collaboratively, and to build with empathy. Governor Wes Moore.
Good afternoon, Baltimore. How are we doing? It's a good day. It's a good day in the city. It's a good day in the state. It's a good day for all of our communities. And I am so grateful to have a chance to be with you. And first, Francesca, I just want to thank you for your leadership. I mean, you and what this team has done. And by the way, this is, she is, Maryland's first Chief Innovation Officer, but let's be clear, this is not the innovation team. I think y'all need to be called the Speed and Innovation Team. Because the pace that y'all move at, the thing that I love about the pace that you move at is it reflects the needs and the desires of the community. It's one thing I've always believed is that, like, When you believe in something and you want something, you get it done quickly. When you believe that people deserve better, you get it done quickly. Our communities deserve better. And that's exactly how you continue to lead. And so to you and the entire Speed and Innovation team, I just want to say how much we appreciate you and how grateful we are for your leadership, and thank you so much. Thank you. That this becomes a moment that just shows that everybody in here understands the assignment, right? That we don't have the luxury to move slow. That in order to move, and there's this old African proverb that, to go fast, you go alone, to go far, you go together. But we're showing that in Maryland, you don't have to choose. We will go fast, we will go far, and we're going to go together. We're going to go together because we make sure that we have leaders that we're working in collaboration with, people like Delegate Young, who is great to be with you as always. And Councilman Jones, it is great to be with you as always. That local leadership and state leadership, that it matters. That I'm thankful that I have the chance to call people like Secretary Coker and Secretary Day and Secretary Addix and Secretary Martin, my colleagues. Like every single day, I get a chance to work with people who I admire and learn from. That every single day, we have a chance to work in collaboration with all of our community groups and nonprofit groups and community leadership to be able to ensure that nothing is going to happen to our communities without our communities taking the lead. That, in the words of the famous philosopher, Jay-Z, where he said, go harder, go faster, go farther. Is that not why we came? Then if not, then why bother? This becomes a very unique moment for us to say, what if we could take the most innovative ideas and make sure that they're done on behalf and in coordination with the people that we love? That's what today is. And as Charlie was saying earlier, this is not a demo, this is not a prototype. This is live, right now, with the ability to serve our people. That these large corporations, these billion-dollar corporations, these corporations who don't even known by their name anymore, now they're just known by 3 letters that scroll across a screen, that they have all these analytics and all this data that helps to give them information as to what they should do. And so the question is, if that's going to work for billion-dollar corporations, why can't that work for our communities? If that's going to work for our communities' wealthiest, why can't it work for every single person who grows up in our neighborhoods and grows up in our communities? That these large corporations have access to this information, but for far too many of our small business owners, especially in the ones who are in the highest need communities and the most neglected communities, they just have to guess. They have to figure it out. Well, we said in this moment, what if they didn't have to? What if we could work together to make sure we can get all the tools that they need? Because if you are guessing, you are not strategizing. If you are not strategizing, you're not competing, and when our small businesses are not competing, they are not growing. And if our small businesses are not growing, we are being derelict in our duties while we sit in these seats. If Maryland is going to grow, we must uplift and support the aspirations of every one of our entrepreneurs and every one of our small businesses, especially those who have a heart for fighting for the community. Let them go first. Let them lead. So today, we are proud to be officially launching the Maryland Community Business Compass. It's a first-of-its-kind initiative in the country that is guided by 3 core objectives. First objective, the compass levels the playing field. We are putting free, easy-to-use data into the hands of our entrepreneurs and insights that identify opportunities for where they should invest and where they can grow. The second It cuts through the clutter. Because even the smartest entrepreneurs, they oftentimes struggle to navigate the complex landscape. That oftentimes even our best entrepreneurs have an idea as to the product they want to build or how they want to support. But being an entrepreneur means you need to be able to do so many different things. And for so many of our small business and entrepreneurs, who are then being forced to figure it out or forced to be able to try to get capital for their build or how to make sure they're incorporating correctly or how to put together the accounting work or how to get together the legal work. It's saying just bring us your best ideas and we can help to make sure that you are lifted and supported. So the Compass pulls together nearly 250 programs from more than 70 state and county websites and now puts it into a single platform. You don't have to search anymore. Let us do the work for you. Programs like Baltimore's Grocery Store Personal Property Tax Credit, which helps our supermarkets open or expand in communities of need, making sure that we can address the issue of food deserts that oftentimes continue to constrict the growth for our communities. Programs like Maryland's Lead Hazard Reduction Loan, which supports homeowners and child care facilities in helping to remove lead paint because we have known that lead paint and lead has been a toxin for over a century, but unfortunately only certain communities have seemed to got the memo. We're going to make sure all communities get the memo. That is going to support programs like the Child and Adult Care Food Program, which reimburses child care providers for making sure that they can serve healthy snacks to our kids and to our family members. No more guesswork. No more figuring it out. No more having to rely on friends and family. When we all know the truth is not all of us have the same friends and not all of us have the same family. Let's make sure we can level the playing field for all of us to be successful. No more long hours searching websites. No more continuing to feel like you're running into brick walls and then turning around and saying, you know what, maybe this is not what I should be doing. Follow your heart, and we'll help however we can. This administration is not going to move on blind hope. We move on data. But data without dollars is simply trivia. So today, we are pairing the launch of the Compass with two specific investments. And today, we are launching Nourish MD, a new $2 million program for fresh food retailers that are supporting our most in need communities. 30% fewer grocery stores that for our high need neighborhoods, 30% fewer grocery stores that exist in more affluent areas. This program will make sure that all of our communities will have the opportunity to have fresh food retailers who want to expand or open new businesses in the communities that need them most. No more are we going to ask our children or our families to rely on corner stores to get the nourishment that they need. No more are we going to pretend like every single person in every single neighborhood has access to the same type of nourishment. Now when we say it, we need to say it with sincerity. And today we are also announcing an additional $8 million for child care capital support for the Child Care Revolving Loan Fund. This work continues the historic investment that this administration is making in childcare, because if you care about employment, if you care about getting people into the workforce, make sure that you are funding childcare. Make sure that parents, and particularly women, do not have to choose between, are my children going to be okay, or do I have the chance to go back into the workforce? Now, this program has already supported more than 140 child care facilities across 20 jurisdictions inside of the state of Maryland. And today's investment will continue that work. Together, these announcements represent a $10 million investment in our small businesses. It's about having the most aggressive approach, not just in our state's history, but I want the most aggressive approach in this country on dealing with the ills of child poverty. Making sure that every child has a shot. Making sure that our children's future is not being determined before they even have a say. Leaving no one behind means making sure that this can be a state where ambition and opportunity actually have a chance to meet each other. For everybody, and not just some. We've launched initiatives like Enough, which is working to transform communities right here in Greenmount, which, by the way, is one of our Enough communities. Because if you want to unleash Maryland's potential, we need pathways to work, wages, and wealth for not just some, but for all of us. Working together, we're showing what good governance can look like. Working together, we are showing what progress looks like. Working together, we are showing what it means to be data-driven and heart-led, and what it means to make sure that in a moment when we have the chance to do something unique and special, we are going to build a society that those who came before us hope for. And we're going to build a society that those who come after us that they deserve. And we're going to do it because the only way that we can make sure that we leave no one behind, and the only thing that's ever helped us survive these moments, it's God's grace and moral leadership. And that's what you all are providing. And I'm thankful to be able to also be here with someone who I am blessed to call a partner inside this work. Someone who at every single turn has raised his hand for this country. And even though we're both licking our wounds after the Army loss on Saturday, someone who I know, even when we get knocked down, gets right back up and keeps on leading. Our extraordinary Secretary of Housing and Community Development, Secretary Jake Day.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. You may assume it, but I'm going to confirm it. This man, every day, is facing down those who would steal resources from the families of this state, and he is fighting to craft a budget that is responsible and effective and serves these goals, and so he's got to go do that right now. Sir, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Keep fighting the good fight out there. Yes, leading the way. Yes, sir. Go Army. Go Army. You all didn't know you were joining an Army pep rally today. The other thing, I'm just going to go off script, I have to say this, that when we make these targeted investments, they are focused on particular things that provide massive dividends to our communities and our neighborhoods. And we're going to talk today about child care centers and the way they do that. We're going to talk about access to healthy food and the way those investments do that. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that the building that we are in today does precisely that. That when we invest in maker spaces, Our entrepreneurs, when we give them access to the tools to build the businesses of tomorrow, the employers of tomorrow, the Fortune 500 companies of tomorrow, they start right here. They start in places like this. So I think it's fortuitous that we are here today. So thank you, Francesca. Thank you, of course, to our fearless leader, Governor Moore. Thank you to your entire team for building this today and guiding these investments for tomorrow. At the department level, we believe that housing is foundational, but housing is not enough. People need housing that's connected to things like opportunity and to health and to everyday essentials that allow families to thrive. Every Maryland family deserves to have access to fresh and healthy food. The ability to put that fresh food on the table without barriers, without long travel times, and when they might not have access to reliable transportation. Nourish Maryland will address the persistent issue of fresh food access in communities all across this state. Through this program, we're supporting the development, the stabilization, and the expansion of small businesses that provide fresh food in areas where residents have limited or no access to nutritious food options. These businesses include grocery or corner stores, farm stands, food co-ops, farmers markets, and even eligible delivery retailers. This pilot program invests $2 million in grant funding with awards from $25,000 to $150,000 to help each business meet critical capital-related needs, whether that means keeping their doors open or growing their operations. These funds can be used for renovations or facility upgrades, inventory expansion, equipment purchases, or even the infrastructure to set up SNAP and EBT receipts, ensuring that access is not just theoretical, but that it's usable. Applicants may also request supplemental loan funding through DHCD's Neighborhood Business Works program to help businesses focus less on financing hurdles and more on fulfilling their mission. The communities that will be served are where 60% or more residents are currently struggling with hunger, poverty, and transportation access. And we'll prioritize businesses located in designated just communities, enough jurisdictions, and sustainable communities. We're also working with the Maryland Department of Agriculture's Maryland Market Money Program, which provides dollar-for-dollar match for purchases made using federal nutrition benefits at Maryland farmers markets, farm stands, and CSAs, along with technical assistance and training and marketing dollars. Thank you, Secretary Addison, to your department for this collaboration. The Department of Agriculture will be co-awarding grants alongside Nourish Maryland, aligning timelines and linking applications so that businesses can access multiple resources through a streamlined process. It's almost like, Francesca, when you talked, we were listening to you. We'll be promoting the Maryland Department of Health's Corner Stores program, which provides grants to establish relationships between local health departments and small-scale retail stores in recognized Maryland rural districts. Together, these efforts provide a coordinated, statewide approach that recognizes that access isn't enough. Families need the support to benefit from that access. The state is taking a comprehensive approach to healthy food access. By facilitating access to fresh produce and other essential grocery items, Nourish Maryland is a key step toward building stronger, healthier, and more economically resilient communities across Maryland. I also got to take a second to just thank the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development's new Division of Business Development. Thank you so much. I want to thank the leaders, Brittany and Brad, the entire team doing just such an incredible job there. And by investing in those entrepreneurs, your team is supporting creating new jobs, supporting our main streets, supporting the communities that have fallen behind because we have let them fall behind. Thank you so much for this partnership. Thank you to our team. And now I want to introduce another incredible partner in this work, someone who has hit the ground running in his time as a leader in Maryland and who has just been a stalwart and compassionate fighter for Maryland businesses, Secretary of Commerce Harry Coker.
Thank you, Secretary Day, or as we say, hooah. Appreciate it. Affordable and accessible child care is essential to the people of Maryland, and that includes the business communities of Maryland. And it's also critical to this administration's efforts to strengthen our economy, attract new investment, and make our state more competitive and more livable. That's because child care gives working families more freedom, more flexibility, and more opportunities. You see, no one should have to choose between having a family and having a career, or having the career they want. Child care helps parents join the workforce, pursue a new job, or embark on a whole new phase of their career, perhaps entrepreneurship. Child care opens up new pathways to education and workforce training, and it empowers parents and caregivers by giving them more control over their destinies. For employers, child care helps expand their talent pool and can bring people with valuable creativity, insight, and experience into the workforce. And this was all made crystal clear during the worst days of the COVID-19 pandemic, as schools and child care centers closed. Build new facilities, renovate existing facilities, and expand the capabilities to care for children. Priority is given to providers in underserved or rural communities, to providers in low-income, high-poverty areas, and to providers that serve young children and children with special needs. That's where these funds will have the most impact. Increased capacity at these child care centers supports economic growth across the state and helps these families build better lives. Commerce will soon begin taking applications for this program's 4th round of funding. In the past 3 rounds, loans have been given to 143 providers in 20 jurisdictions across our great state. And we are proud to work with our partners across the administration to include Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, Innovation, and DHCD, and many others. And we are very pleased that these loans complement all the resources that are made available, like we just saw here today, the Maryland Community Business Compass. In closing, I'd like to thank Governor Moore, the innovation team, for launching this important new tool. And I want to thank Secretary Day, Secretary Addix, Secretary Martin, and the entire teams behind them for helping us to access these resources that all of us deserve. And lastly, I'll recognize one of our teammates from the Department of Commerce, Sarah McMahon, for all of her hard work in implementing our loan program. Sarah, where are you? Thank you. And lastly, I want to thank the team here at OpenWorks for hosting us today. This really is the type of partnership that is essential to building a more robust, more equitable, and more livable Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Coker. And speaking of OpenWorks, the innovation team just wants to express our extreme gratitude for the team here at OpenWorks, including Tirsa and also Will Holman, who I would like to invite to the podium to speak.
Thank you, Kayla. My briefing book is a little shorter than everyone else's. So thank you to the governor. Thank you to the Maryland Office of Innovation. Thank you to all our other distinguished guests for coming here today. For those of you that don't know, OpenWorks is one of the largest nonprofit makerspace in the United States. And when Congressman Elijah Cummings cut the ribbon 9 years ago, he called this place a house of dreams. And he said, my father would have started a business with his dozens of invention ideas if this place had existed. And also if racism didn't exist, and also if structural inequities didn't exist. And you are a cornerstone in tearing that down. Now, unfortunately, Congressman Cummings hasn't is no longer here to see that dream come to fruition, but it is coming to fruition every day. So I want to share a story of just one entrepreneur that has passed through our doors. We've supported 377 small business starts since 2016. That's 31 a year. There's no organization in Maryland, no shade to my colleagues doing this kind of work, that is putting out that kind of production, especially in a disinvested corner of a disinvested city in the heart of our state. Nicole Sullivan came to OpenWorks in 2018 as a member of a cohort-based program called Moms as Entrepreneurs. She took a 16-week program here. She learned how to use the laser cutter, how to use the sewing lab, how to use the woodworking shop, but also small business coaching to learn how to incorporate, how to set up an LLC, how to do accounting, product photography, set up an Etsy storefront. She took that knowledge forward, grew her business at OpenWorks. She opened a storefront in Towson in February of 2020. That business only lasted a few months. So she retrenched, she licked her wounds, she came back to OpenWorks in 2021 and won our business competition. She pitched pivoting her business, Keppel & Kismet, from being a creative workshop and boutique to white label manufacturing for other small businesses. She took the $10,000 she earned here and promptly rented 2 micro studios and hired some of our technicians to work for her part-time. She started making everything from Christmas ornaments to dog toys, whatever people needed her to make. She scaled that business up, and 1 month ago, Mayor Brandon Scott cut the ribbon on her storefront in Hamilton, Laravel. Keppel & Kismet. So success is not a straight line, and as Governor Moore has said repeatedly, we're trying not to leave anyone behind as well. Success is definitely not a straight line. If you're a woman, if you're black, if you're queer, or if you're broke. We are here to provide the resources to the least among us to build the businesses that no one can ever take away from them. And we welcome all partners that want to walk that walk with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Will, and thank you to the entire team at OpenWorks. As we begin to close down our formal session today, we're also thrilled to update our program with 2 distinguished guests who have graciously joined us. The first who I will welcome to the podium is Baltimore City Council member Jermaine Jones.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. But I just want to say welcome to East Baltimore, and more importantly, welcome to her 12th district. I'm the councilman for District 12 here in East Baltimore. First, I just want to start off by asking you all a quick question. What does it actually mean for a government to believe in its people? Secondly, I just want to thank Governor Westmore for his leadership and for having been here today, and for the direction he has set in expanding economic opportunity across the state of Maryland. That opening question was not abstract, especially not here in Baltimore. Just blocks from where we're standing, there are child care providers whose families already trust. They're doing the work every day, but they're limited by space and with capital or with access. There are small grocery and food service businesses who understand their neighborhoods, who understand demand and understand how to run a business, but yet still face barriers that have nothing to do with effort or ability. These stories are not rare, and unfortunately they are far too common, but they tell us something really, really important. They tell us that potential already exists. They tell us what has often been missing is the alignment between investment and the people closest to the work. And that's why today matters. The Maryland Community Business Compass and the initiatives announced today reflects a shift in how government partners with community. This is not just about funding, It's about how showing up differently, listening more carefully, and backing local strength with real support matters. Governor Matt Westmore has challenged us to think seriously about how opportunity is built and who it is built for, and today reflects that challenge moving into action. So let me return to the question I started with earlier. What does it mean for a government to believe in its people? It means recognizing the strength that's already here. It means investing in that strength with intention. And it means standing alongside communities as they build what's coming next. So thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this great work. And welcome to East Baltimore.
Thank you for your leadership, Councilmember Jones. And finally, to close out our time today, I'd like to invite Maryland State Delegate Kaylin Young to the podium.
Bless everybody, and yes, welcome to East Baltimore. My name is Kaylin Young. I represent the 45th Legislative District, East and Northeast Baltimore City. And, my message today is thank you. First off, thank you to Governor Moore, who understands that we got to go both fast and far. That urgency is necessary in East Baltimore. Councilman Jones and I are going to we could tell you, people who I'm going to call and say, hey, compass.maryland.gov. And when they are able to go there, they're going to find the solutions that they need. And when I think about the leadership that Governor Moore has presented, I also think about the fact that you can only go but as far as your team. So I think about you, Francesca. I think about you, Harry, Jake, Kev. I know the conversations we've had, and I know that you all are making this work. Y'all are doing this work with intention and with that same sense of urgency. And it's going to, at the end of the day, make my job easier. Because when I go have those conversations, or when those questions come to me, sometimes I don't know where the answer is myself. But you all are making it easy for us. I wish Delegate Addison was here today when we talk about child care. She's a child care provider, or has done so in her career. And I know that she's got folks that she's going to be able to reach out to talk about how to get the resources that they need, to get the support that they need to improve where their business is, or to get it to the next level. So my message today is just thank you. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for doing the work that you do. Thank you for being partners on the state level so that we can do the work we need to do on the ground. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you all again so much for being here. Thank you again to the team at OpenWorks and to everyone who played a hand in making today's event possible. This will conclude our formal program.